Well, as we just saw, dignity in the face of tragedy in Leicester. But elsewhere in the East Midlands, the knockabout stuff of politics continues. And it doesn't get any more knockabout than in our marginal constituencies, which could play a major role in determining the outcome of the next election. Ed Miliband may be in Brighton for the Labour Party conference, but in an interview earlier this week, he told me our marginals were on his mind.
Well, the East Midlands is very important to us, and we're going to be talking about at our conference about something that's very important, I think, to people across the East Midlands, which is the cost of living crisis facing so many families. We've got a government that's saying the economy's healing, it's fixed, and we've got ordinary families who think life is getting worse for them. Labour's going to be showing at our conference how we can make a difference to those families, starting with ending the bedroom tax.
But I just want to get to what you think is the key to winning back those marginals, because according to Lord Ashcroft's poll, the key is UKIP, that you've increased your lead in these marginals because so many Tories are defecting to UKIP, which is in your favour.
I think the key is talking about the issues that matter to people, and there's no more important issue than the cost of living crisis, because so many families feel life's getting harder year after year after year, squeeze on living standards. They don't see any end in sight, and there isn't an end in sight, I fear, under this government. We would do something about it, and I think that is the key to the election. Which party can show it can make a difference on those issues, can talk about those questions. That's what we'll be doing at our conference.
Ed Miliband, the Labour leader, talking to me earlier this week. Mark Spencer, Mr. Miliband, his big policy ideas to scrap what he calls the bedroom tax, what you would call the under-occupancy charge. Do you fear, hand on heart, this is going to be a big vote winner in a very tight marginal like yours in Sherwood?
Well, I don't, to be honest. I think you need a credible financial plan. I mean, he says he's
got one.
He's going to scrap it, and he's going to. We need to know about the funding of that.
Well, he's going to close tax loopholes for hedge funds.
Well, you know, we've heard all this stuff before, frankly, and the only way to help families through this financial crisis and the squeeze they're under is with a credible financial plan to generate wealth, to generate jobs, and that's what the government is doing. We're working to make sure the economy goes in the right direction, and the rest of it, frankly, is just waffle unless you've got that credible financial plan.
But hold on, according to Labour's figures, 40,000 claimants in the East Midlands will benefit from scrapping this to the tune of around £600 a year. They'll get more. That's going to be a vote winner. You're defending 214.
Well, I mean, and I'm up for that fight. I think we've got a great story to tell as a government. I think we've done the right things in turning the economy around. We're doing the right things in terms of sorting out immigration, and we're doing the right things in terms of making life better for those people that work hard and want to get on.
So you're not worried?
That's, I mean, I'm up for the fight and I'm excited by that fight.
Well, it's a scandalous tax. I mean, it's caused uproar. The bedroom tax has caused up. There are hundreds of people and families in Mark's own constituency in Sherwood. There are over 400 families in the Gedling area. Gedling Homes estimate over 400 people losing between £14 and £25 a week. Some of the poorest families with disabilities, denied that support for them in their housing. And I tell you what, I think most people will be cheering from the rafters at the end of the bedroom tax.
Because there's a lot of support for cutting the benefits.
There's support for cutting where people see it as unfair benefits, but the bedroom tax, people see that as an unfair burden on some of the poorest families, people with disability.
In a house that's too big for them, as the government would say, be paid more than somebody who's in a smaller
Because you're
house?
affecting people who are people who have carers, caring for people with disabilities. That extra bedroom where the carer will stay, sometimes they're losing benefits. Sometimes we have ex-servicemen coming. But ex-servicemen come. 2/3 of the people affected are people with disabilities or some of the poorest families. And that's what ending this bedroom tax, this tax on some of the poorest people in our country, ending that, I think many people will say that's the right thing to do. We're glad
a lot of people are going to agree with that, aren't they,
Mark? Lots of people in Sherwood, though, are squashed into houses that are too small for them, families who have got too many kids in bedrooms who can't move because other houses are
So you pick on the poorest to sort that out?
No, what you have to do, then, you have to use the asset that you've got, and you've got council houses which are an asset for the community. We need to use those to support that community and make sure we can spread that goodness around, and the only way to do that is to try and move people and accommodate them.
Well, I'd rather pay for that by closing tax loopholes on businesses and some of the richest people in the country than making you're making the poorest people pay for it.
But also, I mean, don't forget, there are also lots of people in Sherwood that are working very hard to earn a lot less than the benefits cap, and that's a shocking record that you oppose that benefits cap Vernon.
We don't oppose the benefits cap.
Well,
we don't oppose the benefits cap.
Why did you vote against it then?
We don't oppose the benefits cap. But I'm quite prepared to go to public meetings. Mark can support the bedroom tax. I'll support scrapping it, and we'll see.
Okay, well, there's plenty to argue about. I'm sure it will continue until 2015.